welcome back to our channel, Impress Yourself, where we champion a success forward movement mindset. And on our channel, we provide you with tools, techniques, information, and inspiration to take you from where you are to where you want to be. It is time to impress yourself. Welcome back. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Hit us up on Instagram and our Facebook page, and don't forget to like, share, and comment. Let's get into the business of making you successful. So today we're talking about the most important relationship crucial to your success. And many people, they seek out partnerships and connections, and they overlook this one vital relationship, and it's the relationship with yourself. And this is where a lot of people lose their success factor, or don't enjoy it, or don't make it, is because they haven't taken the time to get to know themselves. Your past and current and your future experiences are all part of who you are, and they are a great vast amount of information that you can garnish and that you can look at and break down to make yourself stronger, wiser, improve your self-esteem, and more resilient. And so that's what we're going to be talking about today: how to foster that relationship, how to develop that self-awareness that supports success, like an unshakable, unmovable success. It doesn't mean that you're not going to experience these moments of hurt, but it's about getting back up. Are you a fighter? Are you going to fight for it? Are you going to press yourself, not just when things are going great, but when things are not going great and it hurts? So let me jump into it. You're going to see me look at my notes. It's just I don't want to forget anything. This is so crucial. And there's a more fine-tuned breakdown on my blog at succeedonpurpose.ca. So head over, read the blog post, do the exercises. Let me tell you, they move mountains. When you know who you are, no one else can tell you who you are, and no one else can breach your boundaries, and you can see BS a mile away. So you know which partnerships are going to move you forward and which are going to move you back. And this includes not just people, but circumstances and ideals. So let's get going. So when we talk about self-awareness, we're talking about, what do you think about? How do you think? What are your mental, emotional, psychological, social, spiritual processes? What shapes your perception of life and the environment around you? What triggers your emotional responses into action and reaction? And most importantly, what leads you to act? Because the difference between a successful person and an unsuccessful person is their actions, right? It is their habits, consistent habits, and their ability to reflect on the impact of those habits and how they're creating their life and their perception. Life is lived in the imagination. Life is a series of cause and effect. Right? So my grandmother used to always say, be careful what you think. I'm sure you've heard that. But she always used to remind us, be careful what you think, because what you think becomes what you feel, and what you feel becomes what you say, and what you say becomes what you do. That is the crux of self-awareness. I want to add one more in there. Self-awareness is the ability to take all those things and be able to look back and determine, was that the best course of action? Could I have done more? Did I impress myself? Because here at Impress Yourself, we believe and we champion the fact that you were born to succeed. But life sort of tells us we're not in control. So many of us have a fixed mentality. I can't do that because I don't have, because I am not, because this is just the way I am. No, it is not. The greatest gift about life is the gift of choice. Try yourself, test yourself, be curious, experiment, keep going, fall down and get back up. That is why you were born to succeed. And in knowing yourself, this leads you to make better decisions. Process your experiences in a manner that empowers you as opposed to a manner that breaks you down. So case in point, you go out with your friends, right? And one of them is being a B or an AH. And you come home, you're either broken, you're either like, oh my gosh, I don't fit in, they don't like me, I can't go back out, I'm not gonna, put myself in that situation again. Or you're like, you are going to look back on that and go, boy, that person really has issues and they're in a toxic place, I wish them best. I'm gonna surround myself with people that lift me up. And that's the difference between self-awareness. Self-awareness lets you process experiences that empower you as opposed to break you down. The next really great gift of self-awareness is not allowing fear and pain of failure to stop you from trying. The truth is, the moment you step into this world, you were born into this world, you will fail. You will feel pain. But the difference between the movers and shakers is they feel that pain and get back up anyways because they know it's common demand. They know that it's part of our growth and development forward. They use it as a stepping stone and a leverage to success. So self-awareness lets you know what your perception tilt tends to be. Because, if you ever heard the saying, genetics is the gun, but the environment is the bullet, pulls the trigger, right? Genetics loads the gun, environment pulls the trigger. That tells you right there that if you are able to perceive, change the perception of, and control your perception of your environment, you are in charge of that genetic gun. You were born to succeed. It also allows you to change your behavior. Self-awareness lets you know what works and what doesn't, how to create space for it. It lets you not to be impatient or impulsive or procrastination. So those are the three that tend to take people out. We get too impatient, so we act, without thought and wisdom. Or we're impulsive, where we just do things, the distance between our thought and action is very short. Or you procrastinate. Self-awareness helps you to change your behavior. It helps you to regulate your emotions. So you're no longer at the mercy of others or the mercy of circumstances or ideals as to how you feel about yourself and who you choose to be and how and you choose to express that and how you choose to act upon it. Self-awareness also helps you create, not just create, but live a path forward. Here at Impress Yourself, we are huge champions of creating a successful life designed by you, approved by you, and maintained by you, because you are an individual. You are a masterpiece. The question is, how do we remove the layers to allow that masterpiece to come through? And you are in charge of that. You are also in charge of creating your own masterpiece, which is you and your life. So self-awareness helps you to move forward so that you keep doing that. Our brains, I'll tell you about the neuroscience of it. Our brains are actually wired for success. It's in our DNA. But one of our natural enemies is self-awareness. And this is a natural enemy because you come into this world, and what's the first thing you do? You want to impress your parents. So no, that's not a problem. The problem with that is, what type of parent are you trying to impress? Right? Not all parents are created equally. Our next natural challenge is trying to impress people around us. But who's that person that you want to impress? Are they worthy of being impressed? Are they? And then you think about ideals. I gotta be buffed and, looking perfect. Well, those are ideals that take you nowhere fast, because there's no such thing. So when we come into the world, one of our natural enemies is that the environment around us tells us who we are. But along the way, we start to learn that we get to choose. And it's knowledge that comes to everyone at some point of our lifespan. The question is, how bad do you want to choose your own life? How bad do you want it? To what degree do you believe it's possible and know that it's possible? When we are children, we experiment quite freely with cause and effect. We go and put our hands on a hot stove because what? I gotta test that out. I am going to pick this piece of dirt up off the floor and taste it. And not only once, but 10 times. Oh my gosh, keeping my children away from dangers was one of my greatest anxieties. But when you're a child, your natural brain tells you experiment and move forward. Oh, that was hot, don't want to touch that. Let me see what's in the fridge. Let me pull out these pots and clean them. Ooh, that noise sounds great. I wonder if I add a spoon to it. You know, we were hardwired for success. And the success journey is really about cause and effect. It's about testing your limits. It's about, that didn't work, I didn't like that. Let me try this. And somehow we lose that curiosity and that sort of passion for experimentation along the way. And pain has a lot to do with that, pain and fear. But we have to, and also rejection, people are listening to other people. We are here to tell you it's time to listen to yourself. Make your voice the loudest voice in your life. Not to the point that you do not take advice, wise advice. But the final decision is yours, not someone else's. And so this lack of self-awareness that gets dulled down as time goes on, it sort of leads to stagnations, and instead we start to move in circles, and our life then becomes defined by someone else. But first and foremost, we have to move into the act of self-awareness. We have to do that difficult exercise. Most people find it hard to look in the mirror and ask themselves the difficult questions. Not about who did me what, when, why, or how. How did I contribute to my own downfall? Because in essence, you always had a choice. I'm going to say that again. In essence, you always have a choice. And you may think to yourself here, well, some people don't. I'm here to tell you from someone who grew up partially in an oppressive, negative reverse environment. I knew the choice was in my mind. I knew my choice was a matter of time, that was not a permanent situation. And so I used the time to build my mind. And I'll show you in the next video my favorite tools that I use to move forward in spite of the oppressive environment and language that was used. So yes, you always have a choice, and it's lived in your self-awareness and in your imagination and in essence your thoughts. I'll give you an analogy that lets you know that you were hardwired for success. As a child, we look and we see our brothers, sisters, the older, kids, and they're throwing a ball and they're catching it, they're bouncing it, and they've mastered that bouncy ball. And so we want to master that. We're passionate about mastering that. What do all children do? They start bouncing that ball. They might miss it the first time. Man, I didn't catch it. But the whole time they try, the brain is adjusting. The brain is adjusting the trajectory, the time, the speed, and where you need to be to catch that ball. And you go back at it. You practice all day, because when you go on that playground, you want to show your skills of bouncing that ball and catching it, of controlling that ball. And so you keep at it, and eventually your mind, your emotions, your thought process, and above all, your intention to master it, keep at it and act upon it. I tell you, to this day, any one of you can still bounce that ball and catch it. And if you're rusty, you're going to keep at it and you're going to be able to master it. That is the key and crux of success. Failure. Let's talk about failure. We cannot talk about self-awareness if we don't address failure, because failure is the number one experience that has the potential to take the majority of us out of the game. Your brain learns and adjusts from failure. And it's in the higher conscience. But there is your consciousness, your subconscious, and your conscious mind. And many times our higher conscious will tell us, it hurt too much, don't do it. It hurt too much, don't do it. Your higher conscious, have to give your subconscious and your conscious permission to get back up and do it again in spite of the pain. So you have to give yourself permission, number one, to feel, to learn, to be willing to feel pain again, but also to be willing to do something different to get to the point of success. You have to give your mind permission to act. Not just act, but act wisely. Act with knowledge, act with intention, act with understanding, and act with consistency. You have to give your mind permission to go through the experience again. You have to give your mind permission to improve, to change the direction of your sails, to fall down and get back up. And when you get to your point of success, you have to give your mind permission to celebrate it, to know that you earned it, you deserve it, and that you can maintain it. Positive thinking is also part of self-awareness. This was one of the words I loved and then I hated, positive thinking, because I was like, okay, this doesn't make sense. And the reason many people go, oh, positive thinking, sorry, you'll hear my lovebirds. The reason people will say, oh, positive thinking is because it's taken out of context. You know, you're sitting here and you're thinking about success and, yeah, I'm gonna have that yacht, $5 million. That is not true positive thinking. That is optimistic daydreaming. Great, you know, do it. But that is not what positive thinking is. Positive thinking is thought processes that are realistic and hopeful. So I have a goal of losing 5 pounds. I could be positive thinking and visualize the number of the scale, but if I don't start and say to myself, Maria, you can get in 30 minutes of exercise every day to reach your goal. That is positive thinking. And believing, yes, I have the space and time to do that. And I will do that. That is realistic positive thinking. It's a process coupled by supportive acts. That is what positive thinking is. It's the hope of I am, I can, I will, I have. Okay? And as we're thinking, as we're exploring positive thinking in the context of self-awareness, it's the I can to the I am. It is challenging the I can't, I will not, I give up. Okay, that's the negative opposite of I can, I am. So here at Impress Yourself, we always want to give you a quick, easy way to remember the information. So here's your quick shortcut to success, the knowledge and the tools of self-awareness. Your brain. So your higher conscious has a lot to do with your thoughts, okay? How you choose your perception, your conscious and your subconscious perception. Then that triggers emotions. So you always want to examine your higher conscious, your brain processes, how you're perceiving this, how your perception is triggering your emotions. And now that you're in your emotions, what is your outlook? How your outlook causes you to act or react. You also want to look at the outcome, the cause and effect of those actions and reactions. And then you want to come back and re-examine from the top down. What was the conscious, subconscious, your brain processes, your emotions, your outlook, so your perception, your action, your reactions, and the outcome. That is the crux of developing a very aware and crucial relationship to your success, being the relationship with yourself, being highly self-aware. One of the foundations of self-awareness is be careful what language you use. What language you use to describe yourself and circumstances. And you can also tell the type of people that you will bring into your circle of success or allow in by the language that they use. Do they always look at things in a negative tilt before they explore the positive, the forward movement, the upwardness, or do they always respond in a negative, backward, downward movement? Okay, this is key. The crux of success and knowing yourself is knowing what works and doesn't work. It's also knowing the ideals that are key to your own principles and the type of life you want to design and the type of person you are. It is also knowing the type of people and relationships that are crucial to your success and that will hold you back. So in saying that, self-awareness is going to also move you from a fixed mentality, the I can't, to a forward-moving mentality. I can, I will, I try. You know, if you go back to the childhood book, The Little Engine, I can, I can, I can, I can, I can. I can, I can, I will, I have, right? So that is in essence self-awareness. It is the most crucial relationship to your success. I can't say that enough, because if you don't have self-awareness, someone else will have it for you, and they will use you, and they will take the gifts that you have and use it for themselves. All right, so I hope that that was helpful to you today. Don't hesitate to like, comment, subscribe, and never forget, it's time to impress yourself. You were born to succeed, and I am rooting for you. Wishing you all the best. Take care. Bye-bye.